It's Sunday the 23rd of August, and this is Scare Tours Sunday Synopsis. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Scare Tours Sunday Synopsis for Sunday the 23rd of August. This has been a big week this week, so we're going to get straight into all the news. Being the 23rd of August, we are only 10 weeks away from Halloween itself, which actually would have meant we are only 6 weeks away from the first Scream Parks opening. So in 6 weeks' time, we should have seen the opening of Tullys, Farmageddon, Scare Kingdom, and Psychopath. We'll quickly tick off Scare Kingdom and Psychopath. At the moment, they are planning to go ahead. Farmageddon are holding off on making an announcement until the 10th of September. So we won't know whether they're going ahead or not. But this is the one we have to talk about. We're going to talk about this a lot on this show. Tulleys Shocktoberfest has confirmed that they will not be opening for Halloween 2020. That is massive news. That the biggest Scream event in the UK and one of the biggest in the world, behind the large Universal theme parks and stuff like that, is unable to safely open due to coronavirus. And that's not Stuart at Tulleys being a bit worried about things or whatever. That is a real conscious decision to keep all his actors, his staff, all the operations crew, security, and everyone safe. And the statement from him, reads that it's all about trying to keep over 400 people safe, as well as providing a great atmosphere and a safe atmosphere for the guests. So this has been in the planning for a couple of weeks. It was announced this week. It was quite a shock when it was announced. I don't think it's going to be the last announcement for this Halloween. I completely understand, completely support what Stuart at Tullys is doing. It is heartbreaking that the event isn't going to happen. It is always a great event. It's a mainstay on everyone's calendar. But it's very, very significant that they aren't opening. So we just want to say good luck to them. So for those who didn't see the announcement, what they're going to be doing is continuing their drive-in cinema. We went to see Aliens a couple of weeks ago. It's a great setup there. So they've got a really good lineup of Halloween movies for the rest of the year. So we just want to say good luck to everyone at Tullys. Do get down and support them. And we can only look forward to next year being good. But of course, Tullys aren't the only one that dropped some really bad news this week. Another large event, Frightmare at Over Farm, announced about midweek that they will also not be opening again. The statement is more about keeping the staff safe and keeping their people safe and providing an experience that isn't going to be damaged in any way by all the extra restrictions that would need to be in place for COVID. So yeah, we always have a great time at Frightmare. For those who know me, I helped them back in the past, helped them grow to the event they've started to become what they are at the moment. And it's a real shame for them. And our hearts again go out to Matt and all the team at Frightmare. We know you always put in a good job, put a lot of work into that, and it must be heartbreaking for you not to be able to open. But of course, that's not just the only bad news. We've been going through some of the smaller events, and so cancellations this week have also included the Spooky Ship event at the SS Great Britain, which is the event run by Bristol Old Vic. They are unable to rehearse and produce a show in time, so that has been cancelled. The Haunted Spooktacular in Ireland, which I only got to visit while it wasn't in operation last year, but I got to have a look around the sets. It looks really impressive. They've announced that they will not be opening for 2020. Scotland's Fright Farm, which is up at Muddy Boots in Fife, they have said then logistically not going to be able to do it this year, so again they won't be able to open. Over in Holland, we have the Drew Wienerzand, which is a small theme park. They have confirmed that they will not be holding a Halloween event this year. Back down in Kent, Screamland Margate have actually been closed all year. They haven't opened any of their rides. They've opened for special events and shows, but they've got no rides. They have confirmed that Screamland Margate will not open this year, even though they had the rights to the Hammer House of Horror last year. And they had a really good year, but yeah, they are not going to be opening for Halloween. Kent's Cavern down in Torquay have confirmed they will not be running their scare show at all during the summer season. We've done that a couple of times. It's a really good event and it's a really good show. But obviously, trying to get large groups of people walking through a tiny cave in the dark is quite difficult. And finally, on the list of bad news, Brock's Bushes have confirmed that there will be no Spooktacular event this year. We went there last year or the year before. It's quite a small event, but they really put some time and effort and some good ideas into that. So again, they've confirmed that they will not be able to open. And that's it for the bad news. But as I said, I know there's more coming. So just keep watching scaretour.co.uk on our Facebook and our social media. And as soon as we get the news and are allowed to tell you what's going on, we will. But let's talk about some good news. There are some events happening. Halloween is not over. Halloween is not dead. But we're just going to have to be a lot more careful about what we're doing. So to start off with Horrorland, the amazing Horrorland that we've been to in Spain last year, and we talk about, and everybody who went there talks about what an amazing event it is. They have confirmed that Matadero is going to become an alone experience. Now, Matadero was you were sent into a meat processing plant where you were the meat being processed. A very extreme maze, very hands-on, very touchy, very grabby. We were tattooed as if we were an animal, in a slaughterhouse. We had air hoses stuck down our clothes. It was a really extreme, stuff poured down the backs of our necks. Great maze, really good fun. And I think all those people that went to Horrorland last year really were impressed with how good that was. So doing that alone will be genuinely terrifying. Coming back to Her Majesty's Prison Gloucester is Salvation Z. This is a zombie-style event in an old, abandoned prison. It looks really good, really exciting. There's quite a bit of story behind the characters, and they've got a bit of history about what's going on. And that will be running in October, so look out for that. There's a link to that on our main website. As well as the drive-in cinema that we mentioned up at Stewart's at Tullys Farm, there's going to be a drive-in cinema club which will be held at Reading and Guildford. It's going to be a live experience with actors, and the details of that have just been released. It looks like the image they're using is copyrighted of someone else, because we've been asked to remove the picture because it is copyrighted. But that event will still be going ahead. We've also announced that the Knott's Maze are doing their Labyrinth horror event. Escaped prisoners in a cornfield, and you have to run around and try to escape from them and try to get out. In escape rooms, the Horror Escape UK have announced that they will be reopening in October with Cabin Fever and Escape to Wonderland, and we've already got our tickets booked for that, so we're looking forward to getting in there. Talking of zombies, Last Survivors are back in Essex. They are in the secret nuclear bunker in Kelvedon Hatch. They have got two experiences. They've got their 3-hour experience, which is the experiment, and they've got a much shorter 90-minute experience called the bunker, which they're running specially for Halloween. So check out their website. Also, while we were in lockdown, we played their virtual online game, which was great fun. So do check out The Last Survivors in Essex. We also have the Doctor Who Time Fracture, a new immersive experience by Immersive Events. We did Crash of the Elysium a couple of years ago, which was a Doctor Who adventure created by Punch Drunk. We couldn't rave about that enough at the time. That had quite a few scary monsters, including weeping angels moving down the corridors and whatever, and Daleks and a number of other scary Doctor Who characters. So looking forward to seeing what the Doctor Who Time Fracture has, but they are promising scary aliens and scary monsters. In other good news, the Horror Crypt in Blackpool, which was at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, they had to close down last year, and we weren't sure what was going to happen to them. But they have now confirmed a new location on the promenade up nearer the Blackpool Tower. They're going to open a new version of the show called The Crypt with some of their props and stuff like that. They're also going to have a Crypt Cafe where you will be able to sit down and have afternoon tea or drink or whatever, surrounded by life-size props from different horror movies and whatever. So that is due to open later this year, and when we go to Blackpool later in the year, we will definitely check it out and find out what's going on there. Finally, we mentioned them earlier, Scare Kingdom. We said they are opening for Halloween. So there's been a couple of changes for Halloween. The Dead End, which was the first experience, if you've ever been to Scare Kingdom, you know that the experiences are quite tight. That's been replaced with, hold on, I need to read this, Horrid High Tea with Scrap Faggot and Mrs. Filch. Yeah, sounds like a David Walliams novel to me. Interesting title, unusual graphic. So that's going to be the first new show before you go into the normal standard shows like the Sickness and Man of Mortis and Body Snatchers. They've also confirmed the lineup for their Christmas show. So while everyone else is still worrying about whether they can do Halloween, Scare Kingdom have actually announced what they're doing for Christmas. So their Christmas Festival event. So we've got those details on the website. Also, talking of Scare Kingdom, because of social distancing, it has been confirmed to us that the Hooded Maze, which last year was called the Hooden Inn, will not happen. It will be a full-scale themed maze. It's going to be called Bozo's Grindhouse this year. And that will probably be the end of Hooded Mazes at Scare Kingdom. Now they've got a themed environment that they could do stuff in. So that's it. It's been a weird week. The news about Tullys was absolutely shocking for a lot of people. I think a lot of people thought the event was going to happen. Yeah, it's going to be a very weird Halloween without it. I just want to talk about, I held the virtual ScareCon on Wednesday, and we had a lot of people from a lot of different smaller events who are still slightly undecided about what to do or have got good ideas about how they can open. We had about a 3-hour discussion about different ways we can open. It's not about just saying you're COVID secure and running a few simple checks. You know, there are fundamental changes that need to be done to be able to open safely and keep your guests and staff safe. And I was really encouraged that there was a lot of really good discussion at this virtual ScareCon, and people genuinely do want to open, but open and keep people safe. So there's quite a few announcements coming through. Halloween is not cancelled completely, but it is going to be very different. We've mentioned before about masks. You know, you are going to have to wear masks. You are going to have to walk through everything putting hand sanitizer on. We were at Fort Park for the first time last night. You may have seen there's some photos of any of the build that's going on Fright Nights on our website. Every ride we went on, we hand sanitized. Every ride we came off, we sanitized our hands again. We had face masks on. It does feel weird. It does feel different, but it's the only way you're going to be able to safely experience any scare attractions this year. And a lot of attractions are saying it will be absolutely compulsory. You have to wear a mask. If you do not wear a mask, you will be kicked out. So all I would say for those people out there who currently have issues saying, I can't wear a mask or I'm exempt or I feel uncomfortable, if you want to go out and experience Halloween events this year, try to go out a few times with a mask on and just see how you get on. We understand it does trigger some people's anxiety, and some people do, it triggers their asthma or whatever, but it's none of that has been scientifically proven. So do try it, because you are going to be rejected from events if you take your mask off. It was interesting at Fort Park last night. They weren't actually sending the roller coasters out until people had their masks on. So, it's worth trying to persevere with it if you can. It is mandatory. You do have to wear them. So I'm not being paid by the government to say this, but I do think for the sake of other people, if you are potentially carrying the virus, wearing a mask will help. So there you go. That was the Sunday Synopsis for Sunday the 23rd of August. This will be a week to go down in history as the week that the largest Halloween event in the UK decided they were not going to go ahead. But there's still a lot going on. So with that, we're going to sign off. Don't forget, if you like these updates, you can subscribe down there. You can click the button to get notifications. Obviously, follow us across all the Scare Tour social media. And we will have a lot more news. We will keep on top of the ever-changing developments around coronavirus. And we will bring you the latest news of what's opening, what's not opening, and what to do this Halloween. So with that, we are going to sign off. And we will see you next week.